Ashley Deem, Associate Publisher and Editor with Fantini's Gaming Report. I'm here with President Aruze Gaming America, Eric Persson. Eric, thank you for joining us for our CEO one-on-one interviews for the very first time.
Thanks for having me.
So you joined Aruze in March with the title of President, and former CEO Rich Pennington remains on the board. So I've got a two-part question for you. The first is, can you give us a little bit about your background and how you came to be with Aruze and what you've done previously? And then secondly, what is the corporate structure currently, as in your responsibilities and Rich's role, and how the strategy of communication and operations work?
Yeah, so I spent the last 17 years on the operating side, really the last almost 10 with Las Vegas Sands, where I was globally in charge of their slot operations and marketing, which is about a $1.7 billion operation, Macau, Singapore, Vegas, and PA. And the opportunity arose for me to come join Aruze late last year, and was something I happily accepted, and here I am today. And so in terms of how the organization works, we have a CEO by the name of Takahiro, who runs the company on a day-to-day basis, and I'm the COO of the company and president of Aruze America. And Rich is a board member. He's actually vice chairman, and the board members consisted of 5 of us at Aruze. So from a day-to-day standpoint, I'm managing the operations, working with Takahiro.
Okay, and so Aruze is a privately held company, and I think there's there's a little bit of question as to what the corporate structure is. Sure. So can you kind of talk us through the connection between Aruze and Universal Entertainment and Mr. Okada?
Well, Universal is an entirely separate company, which isn't related to Aruze at all, although Mr. Okada is the controlling shareholder of both Universal and the only shareholder of Aruze. And so Mr. Okada has placed his company in trust, and Takahiro and myself are the trustees. And so what that means is all managerial decisions are made by ourselves, but Mr. Okada is ultimately the owner.
And Mr. Okada has had his share of controversies in the last couple of years. Does that have any effect on Aruze America? And if so, what are the potential effects?
No, I think that we've created a structure that that's working very well for the company. I think we're pretty excited about the future. I think we're going to have a great show. We have a ton of great products. We had probably our highest sales last month in about 2 years, for example. So no, I don't see that as an issue at all. So
Aruze Gaming America is strong and well and sticking around for quite some time.
30 years and counting.
All right. So, Aruze is a relatively small company compared to IGTs and Scientific Games. What is the product strategy, the marketing strategy, and how do you compete with those companies?
That's a great question. I mean, the truth is we can't compete on R&D dollar by dollar from a Sci Games or a G-Tech, and that's true. So what we've chosen to do is a couple different strategies in areas that we think we can be very successful in. So one of the things we focus on is electronic table games, and we've had a great history of success. Less people compete with us in that market, and in some ways we may be the market leader in ETGs. And we're unveiling a craps product that takes 1/4 of the labor that a normal craps table takes. You still throw dice, and you're actually going to get more rolls per hour, that we're very excited about. And so what we've chosen to do is start to think about needs for customers and how do we solve a problem. And we don't think about how to compete with large manufacturers dollar for dollar. The other thing we start to do, coming from the operating side, it was very important to me, is so often as a buyer, you feel like the end of the quarter is coming, and a Sci Games or a G-Tech, they're going to try to chase sales, and we obviously don't have to do that, being a private company, and nor did I appreciate it as a buyer. And so what I've started to think about is all the things I didn't like when I was on the operating side, and we've sought out to solve it. So for example, all of our software comes, anytime you buy our hardware, it comes with a 2-year software guarantee, which means anytime your product's doing less than 80% of floor average, we're going to provide a conversion free of charge. We're going to make sure that hardware works for the next 2 years. We're also announcing at this G2E, anytime we go out and we develop hardware, that it's going to have at least a 6-year software and hardware and parts cycle. So you're going to have optics into how long the hardware you purchase from us is going to be able to work and be supported on your floor, how long you're going to be able to get new software for it. It's opaque by nature by most of our manufacturers, and so frankly, as a buyer, I found it offensive. And so now when you purchase from us, you're not just buying a transactional slot machine. You can have a lot of confidence that for the next 2 years, you get all the conversions you need. The game you bought, the hardware you bought from us is going to work, and it's going to be able to be on your floor for at least 6 years with software, parts, and all the support that goes with it. No one else does that, and we're doing it because we think that by making sure the stuff that we've sold you works, you'll want to buy more. And I think it's going to work.
And so what are some other focuses that Aruze has moving forward maybe over the next year? Well,
a familiar theme you'll see from a management strategy is I'm trying to be disruptive. And I don't think I'm trying to be disruptive, I'm being disruptive. And so, for example, we're focusing on multi-level progressives and we're selling them. It's a recurring revenue, it's a huge base for most of the manufacturers, but we're happy to sell it to customers. Same with wheels. We have, some of our games have wheels that are doing 3 and 4 times floor average, and we're happy to sell it to a customer. These are important, protected, recurring revenue areas for other manufacturers. For us, we see as an opportunity to gain market share, sell to customers, and they can actually reduce their fees that they're paying our competitors. And so for us, we're focusing on premium product, but we're selling it. We're focusing on electronic table games, which we do very well with. And right now, that's really our main focus. And then also pricing models that customers can understand. Because I think that, I was one of the largest buyers in the world, and I really had no idea what the actual cost of a slot machine was supposed to be. I knew what we were willing to pay for it, but anytime you sit down with any of the manufacturers, they say, oh, well, it costs this, but there's 24% rebate, and if you'll do a trade, and if you'll sign by it's like buying a used car, and nobody enjoys that experience. And so we're trying to fix that.
Interesting. And the reason we're all here is to see the latest products and what everyone has to offer. So when we visit Aruze's booth, what is it that we should be on the lookout for?
I think there's really just 3 things that I would come see our booth and I think are going to matter. One is our craps table, which we're very excited about. And we think there's a huge market, and we're working with Caesars Entertainment to develop this product as we speak, and we're very excited about the rollout. The second is we have an update to our automated roulette wheel, which provides projection mapping, which has fantastic graphics, but has a real roulette wheel, a real roulette ball, and is an improvement over a version we put out a couple years ago, and we've been getting very positive customer feedback for that. The third is all of our various progressives, whether it's Orb Hunter or Rainbow Cash, they're coming out, they're doing fantastic, and they're for sale by item. So those are the things I think that most of our customers will come and see and they'll appreciate. Fourth is we're starting to get into a lot of the traditional table space, I guess. The craps table is an example of it. We also come out with RFID chips, which are going to cost operators about half of what the market rate is. And so we have a partnership with Walker Digital that we're pretty excited about.
Great. Well, thank you again for taking the time to sit with us and participating in your first Fantini CEO one-on-one interview.
Happy to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.